Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adachi here, and we're going to be looking at the first anniversary for the global side and all the news that's coming with it. Just to give a forewarning, though, I'm skipping over this one right here because they kind of have the first anniversary posts like in a million different spots, so I'm going to hopefully be able to cover everything through the posts up here. And they're also showing off the second week stuff, so it's going to take a little bit of sifting, so bear with me here. I'm gonna start off with this, and this is just a real quick. A tower is coming in like 3 days, I think. Yeah, like 420, so 3 days, and we'll be getting the tower back once again. I don't know if they're adding more floors or not. Yeah, I'm not really getting to the top floors of tower right now, so I'm assuming that 60 is the next 5 right here. And to get started with those hot anniversary deals, we're getting the multi-campaign, which is surprising because I 100% said in my prediction that we would get single pulls instead. But Ida said, nah, fuck that, everybody's getting the 1 year anniversary. To a degree, we're not getting all the cool shit that JP's getting right now, so expect that probably in our 1 year anniversary. But we're at least getting the daily free 10 pull right now, which is super cool, so make sure you're doing your daily free 10 pull every day. Do note that this is going to be, what is it? It's only containing the pool from like the end of March, I believe. Yeah, or the beginning of March, actually, so early March. So that means all the units and arcs that came out in the past month are not going to be in there. Also, any limited, any Descent of Hero banner units and arcs, or I don't think there's actually any Descent of Hero arcs, but limited arcs is not going to be in that pool. Alright, and this is the, I don't really know, this is like an event currency. It's like a Twitter thing, I guess. It's based on how much of the currency we get in the current event that's going on, which we'll go over shortly in a bit. But it looks like this is for all the player base here, and when we get to whatever rewards, we can get all these rewards. I don't know when we're actually going to get all of these rewards into our box, but a bunch of cool stuff to see here. We're getting clusters, we're getting gacha tickets, we're getting gold if you care about that, a bunch of tier 3 crystals. I say a bunch, this isn't a whole lot, but it is free, so I mean it's a bunch for being free. And then when we hit these next points, which looks like we're absolutely going to be killing it, we're going to be getting Ethereum, and we're going to get a guaranteed SSR ticket. And you can even see who is the highest contributors to all of the event currency at the moment. So shout out to all these people, especially Rexodia, because I don't know if they're still on my friends list, but Rexodia is a name that I recognize there. And let's see if any other names I can recognize here. Nope, that's literally the only name I recognize. So shout out to all these people though that are helping contribute to the most. And then to get into the 1 year anniversary stuff, don't let the co-op fool you. It's just talking about those badges, the badges for the entire player base right now. So first up, we have event limited dungeons on the world map. If you check the world map, we'll take a look at it in a little bit, but there's going to be 4 different maps that you can clear, and there are event missions tied to those, and it's basically just clear them a bunch of times. It's like the last 2 you need to clear 30 times each, and then the first 2 you need to clear like 10 times, something like that. And do note that there's a lot of these things that say second half, so we're not going to quite, well, if they have news on it, we'll look at it. But just note that the treasure hunt, the gifts, and the arena daily bonus are all going to be in the second half. That is the boosted friend gift or friend point summons. And then the big thing I wanted to go over with the event dungeons right here is to look at the themes right here, because this is kind of important for farming. When it comes to farming, which one you're going to pick out to farm, besides, you know, absolutely do your event missions for each one of these different venues. But also here, venue 1 basic content, so you basically will never farm venue 1 when it comes to like auto farming. Venue 2, chance for party members unit souls to drop. That's right, you have a chance for getting unit souls by farming 2. So if you want to do some like overnight soul farming, I mean it's not a high chance, but it's more souls than you would have had otherwise by doing some auto farming. Venue 3, rare boost to the amount of badges and XP you get. So this is if you want to start leveling up your units and you want to, you know, clear out the badge shop that we have alongside the event. And then this one says venue 4, units collect badges more efficiently as their level rises. I think this means you get more badges if you're like higher level units, something like that. Maybe if you have like maxed out units. Honestly, I would pick probably venue 3 to clear out the shop, as well as XP if you really want that. But venue 2 is honestly sounding like the hottest one. The unit souls chance to drop is pretty dang good. And then solve and search treasure hunt. This is going to be just like the Easter event that we just had. So you're gonna get hints, and some points are gonna probably pop up on the map. And then there's going to be some kind of exchange shop where you can get some stuff. Looks like we're getting some more ceremonial gear. This might be similar to what JP has going on. They also have some more 1 year anniversary gear that they're getting. And this is also next week at the second half. I think the second half starts next week. Yeah, next week, second half. We're getting the first anniversary of Fishing Fest. They're just opening up a new fishing point. I don't know if this is going to be limited for the time that it is here. We'll probably get more details on the second half, so look forward to the fishing event next week. And then right now in the event quest, there is just a little kind of recap slash thank you a quest that you can do. It's just like a little story thing. You can just skip it if you want to, but it's going to give you 3,000 crystals. It'll say 999 because there's like a cap on the rewards they can give you or something, but it's actually 3,000 that you're getting out of that quest, so make sure to do that at least once. Login bonus with some good stuff. This is a login bonus that I could actually get behind. You're getting some clusters. You're getting, I think, 3k crystals, some other souls. Are we getting an Ethereum? Only thing it is missing is an Ethereum, but there is also an SSR guaranteed ticket. So absolutely super cool login rewards there. Also in the second half, triple souls obtained and 0 souls consumed in the arena. Do note, I kind of misread this at first. This is specifically for the arena. So the daily souls that you can get for running the arena, those are going to be tripled, and it's going to be 0 souls consumed in the arena. Those are blue and red orbs. This is not everything else. This is just the arena here. And again, this is going to be the friend gacha boosted, so make sure you're saving up your friend points for next week when the friend point summon goes live. And then we have the event limited equipment. It's just saying that you're getting a bunch of gear. And some of this gear is listed, but it is going to be a part of the second half, I believe, tied to the treasure hunt thing. And then real quick with the event quests, an easy way to find the maps if you haven't really looked at the event at all yet is to click quest area list, and it'll show up if you cleared all the story. It'll show up as new, but you can scroll down and you can see festival venue 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can just click them and it'll take you straight over there. So that's just an easy way to find them. Also, I didn't see it in the news. Maybe it was in that post that I skipped over. Right now we do have these couple of things going on. Grand Ability Gate, which you can do 1 time a day. Training Gate, so the XP farming quest 5 times a day. Training Dungeon open every day, once a day. And then all of the ability gates are going to be open, as well as T-Gate is going to be open for, I'm assuming, the duration of the 2 weeks, if not at least the first week here. So absolutely make sure you're doing all the training dungeons, the training gates. And then the Grand Ability Gate is a new one, but you do it once per day. They are considered godlike difficulties. They're slightly higher difficulty, so I mean expect like high level ability gate farming or high ability or high difficulty T gate, something along those lines for the Grand Ability Gate. Do it once a day. Make sure to do each one at least once so you can get the gems out of them as well. They give you a ass ton of tier 3s and a bunch of clusters as well. So this is a super cool gate. I hope we see this come around more often. Honestly, when it comes to exchange shops for events, if you were to compare the ability gate, the Grand Ability Gate alone is like more than all the crystals you get out of the farmable events, which is kind of funny. Last news on the agenda is going to be that Vaughn banner is still going on for another 5 days, so make sure if you are pulling for Vaughn, you know, to get your Vaughn. I would recommend not pulling for Vaughn though, because now we have Seilios here. And the only thing I wanted to look at last here in game for Seilios is going to be his rate, and yes, of course, non-limited unit. They want you to pick these bad boys up, and they want you to spend your gems on these instead of the limited banners, so they're going to give you that hot 1.5% rate on the unit, and just a standard for the arc here. Alright, and just like last time, we're going to be taking a look through Altama just because it's a lot easier, but Seilios is going to be a high-tier physical DPS imbued with the ice element, or I should say pretty much entirely focused on the ice element, and there's going to be a lot of things that are going to help push forward that ice damage, and his arc is also going to be super beneficial / best in slot for himself. So first we're going to look at Seilios' skills here. First up we have Cyan Wave. This is just going to be a brief ice combo in front of himself. As you can see, a few hits there, and also pushes the enemy back. I don't know if that wave at the end also pierces through or not. His S2 is going to be a Scion Smash, and this is going to be another combo in front of himself, but you can see he also has a brief dash here, and he's going to push the enemy back a little bit. Good range on this, especially on that last hit right there. His S3, a Cryogenic Break, as you can see, is once again another big ice attack. This is another combo, so as you can see all of his abilities comboing together. Might be good to get some combo master on this lad right here, but another ice combo attack, and it's going to end with a nice little AoE right in front of himself right there. And finally is going to be his S4, which is going to be Avalanche Blade. As you can see, another big AoE, another big ice imbued ability. This is going to be a single target. I don't know if this hits enemies like directly around a single enemy, but it does say single target right here. Summons a big ice dragon, and it looks pretty damn sick. As you would expect as the Laswell / Roy of Last Cloudia here. Alright, and back into his passives. His first one, Flowing Incision. When an ice attack hits a weakness, damage plus 40%. That is only when it is hitting a weak point, so they have a negative resistance to ice damage right here, so big damage boost right there, and then Zero Blade Flash when an ice weapon is equipped, ice damage plus 30%. So like I said, everything in his kit is all just about ice damage, so he is very one note. If you ever go against an enemy that has high ice resistance whatsoever, he's probably one of the worst units to take into that battle. And then thank you again. Oh my gosh, Idis, I can't thank you enough for actually letting us look at all the details in game. This is so nice. But the passive he's going to get is crit up 1, crit up 2, aim vitals, and this tells me that these do stack actually, now that I can see this. And advanced aim vitals right here, the boosted version of aim vitals. So crit plus 50% stacked together, crit plus 80%, crit up 1, crit up 2. You're seeing a pattern here? Also going to get a bunch of slayers, perfect for PvP. Soldier, knight, sniper, and... sorry, I said a bunch of slayers. There's a couple killers and a couple slayers. But Soldier Slayer, Sorcerer Slayer, and the Knight Killer and Sniper Killer. Good to cover some bases there in the arena. He also just comes naturally with auto crit, saving 9 SC, so that is super hot. As we can tell, he wants to crit a lot right here, and the fact that he already has this in his kit is amazing. Also, Ardor, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Ardor, which gives you a crit rate plus 10% at max HP. Also, we can see another power crept ability similar to the advanced aim vitals right here. This is one of the big reasons why when Seilios came out over in JP, I was like, I see where they're going with the future of power creep in this game. And that is boosted abilities here. Ice attack raise 2, ice attack damage plus 30%. And I would assume that this is also going to be able to stack with ice attack raise 1. So because he's one of the first units to kind of get these power crept abilities already in his kit is what's going to put him towards the top of the list as far as physical DPSs go right now. Also, Pose of Glory, I just love having this ability on physical DPSs, period. Sky High for free, Blessed Speed, which is just cool, makes him move around faster. I love Blessed Speed when it comes on free at least. And then a Sword Boost, no Sword High Boost, but I believe that was a part of the arc on Bond's banner, correct? Sword High Boost, I think, right? 30% or something like that. One sword is equipped, physical attack plus 10%, so if you can still stack an ability that we can already get from another arc, just that much better. Also to note, no spells learned. He's just an ice boy. He's an ice crit boy. So Seilios is the first of many insane units to come. He has amazing damage, and he's going to be a perfect contender for those weapons that are going to be coming out, the weapons that break the damage caps into the future. He's an absolute perfect contender for that. My only real complaint with Seilios, actually I should say two, is the fact that one, he's, one note, so only ice damage really. That's not the biggest complaint though. A lot of units are going to be focusing on a lot of different things. You're going to want to build out a bunch of different units anyway to cover different pieces of content, so I can't say that's the hugest complaint. The bigger complaint I think I have are with his abilities, the fact that one, this is just a single target nuke on his S4, and then his abilities, while nice, they do sustain for a decent amount of time. They don't have any of those pulls that I absolutely love, and they don't cover large amounts of area. But those are minor gripes in the end. Seilios is still an amazing unit. The only thing I would say is somewhere on par with Randy even. Of course, Randy's leg up, though, is those abilities and the fact that he is a neutral element, so he's not really restricted by any specific thing, but he doesn't necessarily excel in any element either. Alright, looking at the new arcs, I see a Guardian, the SSR on banner right here, looking, oh my gosh, it looks so good. And look at Seilios, more art for him. I mean, it looks basically like the Vaughn's arc, almost, but they look so good. The passive here, crit physical attacks inflict 40% extra damage. Seilios, crit damage, more crit damage. Oh my goodness, he's hitting caps like nothing. And critical attacks will have an ice attribute, just straight up. It doesn't even matter now. As long as you have crit on him, it doesn't matter what weapon you end up putting on him for your basic attacks. If you have this arc right here, crits will automatically have an ice attribute. This means you could run things like Mana Sword, or maybe even Mel's weapon or something like that. Your crits are automatically going to become ice. I don't know if this overrides a weapon's element. I would assume it does. Also, fire resistance plus 20, ice resistance plus 20, so cool stuff there. Then the abilities right here are going to be a perfect for Seilios as well. Ardor, which he already has, but it's cool that we're getting this for everybody else. Crit rate plus 10% of max HP, as we already saw. Proud Force, Royal Armor, Ice Circle. This one's the only interesting one. Regularly deals ice damage to one enemy and reduces thunder resistance, so this is going to be really good for Thunder Sevia, who's going to be coming out into the near future. And then Night Slayer, really good for Arena. And then Auto Crit at the end right there. Auto Crit being just an amazing OP buff that should be great on just about every unit. Of course, this is something that should be slotted in later, and you're better off with just fast crit / crit earlier on until you're towards like a cap SC. So absolutely a beast of an arc. Highly would recommend getting that. And then the rare arc, of course, we're not going for, but I love the art for it. I love the spaceship. When are we getting some futuristic stuff, Idis? I want some Jedis and Sith Lords and stuff. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but I mean, I would love to see some kind of like futuristic aesthetic or characters into the future. Foreign land, I don't know what this means, but dark magic damage plus 20% at the start of a wave, random probability to cast darkness, so blind on enemies and allies that are not resistant to it. Wait, what? Allies that are not resistant to it? Oh my gosh, that is that is interesting. Light resistance minus 20, dark resistance plus 20. I gotta say that passive is fucking dog shit anus. I wouldn't equip this if you could not do that. The abilities this one teaches is Shadow Gravity, Listoma, Machine Killer, Sky High, which is pretty cool to see on a rare arc, and then Shadow Circle regularly deals dark damage to one enemy and reduces light resistance. This is probably the only kind of niche interesting one right here, is reducing specific elements. Right at the moment, I think the only thing we really have is weak. So as we continue to get more of these abilities right here, these circle abilities, it's going to be really nice, and it looks like the first time we're going to see that, I believe, is going to be on this arc. So it'd be worth it for that, but of course, rare arc. Don't pull on this banner just for that. I almost forgot to go over the ether items real quick since they've made it so easy to actually look at them. A Brisk Blade Zestina on the SSR Icy Guardian, which is going to be another sword, Ice attribute, 192 strength, insane. With defense 30, mind 30, defeat an enemy, and recover SCT. This is not only best in slot for Seilios, but this is just a goddamn amazing sword. Especially for those of you who were not able to get the arc from the Secret of Mana banner and you weren't able to get the Mana Sword. Of course, this is going to have the Ice attribute, so it does have that difference right there, but high strength, got some good little substats here, and then just a really great passive on top makes it amazing. Amazing arc right there. And the item for Dimensional Rift, real quick, Orbital Blaster Machine. So there you go, a Robin weapon right there. Attribute Dark, Strength 85, Intelligence 22, a very low probability to make enemies faint with normal attacks, excluding bosses. This one's whatever. That's it, this one's whatever. I think we've even gotten like event weapons better than this as far as machines go. Alright, but that wraps up the doozy of an update we've had this week. We have a lot more in store coming next week, and I'm hoping there might be a little more of a surprise coming into next week. Who knows, they might even drop the Dr. Stone collab. I don't think they're dropping it next week, but, you know, never know. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.